A very good morning to you and welcome to the news at 7. I am Ebere Ugonna. In the headlines this morning, wife of the governor, Chief Mrs. Obiano, receives award of excellence from the Nigerian Girls Guides Association. Chairman, State Committee and Social Development Agency, Igwe Odebo, calls on communities to key into the project and develop their communities. Federal Executive Council FEC approves the reconstruction of Umana Ndiago Benebe Amanse Oka Umumba Road, Section 2 in Enugu State. Pope Francis names Venezuelan Archbishop Para as the Vatican's new substitute of the Secretariat of the state. And now details of the news. Wife of the governor, Chief Mrs. Isabella Jacobian, has continued her community empowerment tour with trips to Idemili North and South, where she reassured the people that she remained unflinching in her drive to putting lasting smiles on the faces of the needy in Anambra State. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe takes the story from here.
Addressing the large crowd at each of the council's headquarters, Chief Mrs. Obiano maintained that her dreams for the state were predicated on equipping the people with the necessary tools of self-development and sustainable future. She urged them to continue praying for leadership enrichment of the present administration and the success of the state, noting that the Willie Obiano-led government will not relent in taking the state to an enviable position.
Sino panunu melifa ne kwifa panunu me na governor ya na palace melifa ofo because na governor me gene de jiro ogegbe yin if a governor na me the very visible if a governor na me onya azotalo n'okwu o metuta n'aka ofia n'anya Obiasina or the Anambra State. Now Anambra ga rise from the worst state in Nigeria to the best state in Nigeria. They put Anambra like this,
Earlier in their speeches, the Transition Committee Chairman, Idemili North Council Area, Barrister Asha Nnabife, and his Idemili South counterpart, Chief Don Onachukwu, accredited the governor's wife's big-heartedness to her humane attributes and desire to see people successful.
Especially myself, who were programming over 4 or 5 days ago, this will become. I can leave half. Let's say, no, the kind of minute. I am a sorry for the Wafuna people, when I call on the minute, no more evidence to get we family back.
State, God sent her here as an angel to dispense charity. She's an angel that goes on dispensing charity, an angel on errands of charity. 1 year single-handedly, now may empower widows, orphans, disabled persons, and the hopeless people. She gives them hope. For me, I will say that she's a modern-day Mother Teresa.
Also at the event was an Imo State gubernatorial aspirant in the forthcoming 2019 general elections under the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, Prince Daniel Kalu, who said the benevolent traits of the APGA government provides a solid platform for him and a credible sign of good governance for the Imo people. Other APGA stalwarts from the council, including Chief Ifeanyi Ibezim, Chief Augustine Chukwuka, and the Special Advisor to the Governor on Chieftaincy and Town-Unionism, Barrister Vera Queen Okonkwo, applauded the landmark breakthroughs of Chief Mrs. Obiano in economic empowerment and human development and said she will forever be remembered for her unprecedented virtues. The tour to the local government areas was also graced by APGA National Woman Leader, Mrs. Adanwanyanwu, and member representing Idemili North at the State House of Assembly, Mrs. Nkoli Mebuaneze, her Orumba South counterpart, Princess Nikki Ugochukwu, Commissioner for Women, Children and Social Welfare, Lady Ndidi Mezuo, wife of the Deputy Speaker, Mrs. Sylvia Oseke, amongst others. Highlights of the tours were presentation of APGA uniform as symbol of membership and acceptance to Honorable Tony Mmonago, who recently joined the party from the All Progressive Progressive Congress (APC), as well as presentation of bags of rice, cool bags, reading and writing materials, mosquito nets, and cash to widows, children, and the physically impaired to 53 people each from the 21 towns in the council areas visited. From Ojoto in Idemli South Council area, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
Meanwhile, the wife of the governor, Chief Mrs. Isabella, has received a award of excellence from the Nigerian Girls Guides Association. The award was bestowed on her at St. Monica's College, Obunike, Oyi local government area, for her vast humanitarian contributions towards girls and women empowerment. Correspondent Chidema Ikanyong has details.
Receiving the award, Chief Mrs. Obiano, who was represented by the Commissioner for Indigenous Art, Culture, Tourism and Diaspora Affairs, Mrs. Salim Banefu, appreciated them and commended their platforms for reaching out to women and girls in the society. She urged parents to make their children feel valued, protected, included and safe, enumerating the crimes perpetrated against the girl child to include sexual exploitation, prostitution, forced abortion, and female genital mutilation.
Exactly the mission of our First Lady. Chief Mrs. Isabella. And what is that mission? That mission is to develop young women and girls to reach their fullest potential as responsible citizens of Nigeria.
In her welcome address, the Chief Commissioner, Nigerian Girl Guides Association, Mrs. Maria Gorati Sule, said the purpose of the advocacy program is to create opportunities for girls and women to build their confidence by accepting who they are and appreciating their gifts and ability.
For the good work she has been doing in this state, supporting the guys in their activities, and as the patron of the Nigerian Girl Guides Association in the state. So we made our message to her that we are grateful. We recognize her and hope she still continue to support them.
The State Commissioner, Nigerian Girl Guides Association, Barrister Helen Obi, stated that the National Advocacy Camp was aimed at treating issues like building confidence and self-esteem, gender-based violence, amongst others. Highlights of the ceremony were the decoration of some members of the association for their exceptional services in their various states, inspection of products and items made by members of Girl Guides Association, unveiling of the advocacy camp materials, cultural dance, and cutting of cake. From St. Monica's College, Obunike, I am Chidemi Kanyon reporting for ABS News.
The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has gone another step further in the processes of certifying the Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, ready for digital transmission switchover. This was confirmed with the visit of the Director of Engineering and Technology and the Commission, Engineer Friday Ojena Okwela, to the television studios of ABS in Awka. Correspondent David Okosele has the report.
The NBC Director of Engineering, Mr. Ojena Okwela, is in the state to assess the facility readiness of the ABS as a final process of switching over television broadcasting from analog to digital transmission in Anambra. Speaking to newsmen, Mr. Ojena Okwela said so far, 5 states and the Federal Capital Territory have successfully been switched and assured that with the quality of high-tech equipment, manpower and content in ABS, the organization is ready to blaze the trail when the switchover comes to Anambra. He expressed satisfaction with the effort the present government and the management of ABS is putting in place to meet international standards and surpass their contemporaries. On what the National Broadcasting Commission is doing to ensure that viewers factor into receiving the digital signals, Mr. Ojena Okwela assured that NBC has certified 13 companies to manufacture the set-top boxes in the country so as to make it easier and cheaper for viewers to acquire, confirming a seamless transmission when the policy is finally implemented in the state.
I believe Anambra is one of the next states that we are going to come to, and I've come to see the facilities that are in place. Highly impressed by the facilities that I've seen on the ground. I congratulate His Excellency for doing this much for this particular station. I've seen the equipment, and I want to say that ABS is ready to join the train of the digital broadcasting. It's fantastic. My prayer and desire is that we'll manage this equipment well, we'll put them to the best use to justify the investment that has been made in this place. It's a high-tech equipment, what I've seen. Kudos to the governor, kudos to the commissioner, to all the people that made it to happen. I congratulate every one of you, being that we are ready to join the digital world.
On his part, the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. C. Dawn Adenoba, stated that the state government will continue to give her support in ensuring the best of broadcasting, considering the level of massive investment it had made to ensure the ABS is digital ready.
The set of art equipment we have was not communicated to some people. They have just got to know. So we thought we were actually going to be the very first station to do the digital switch over. Now that I've known, I think Anambra will not just be among the next set of states, but the very first states to get commissioned. So all along, they thought they were waiting for us, whereas we were actually waiting for the NBC.
Earlier on arrival, the MBC top shot was received by Commissioner Adenoba, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mrs. Obi Umade, some members of management led by the Managing Director, Nze Uchenwora, represented by the Director of News and Current Affairs Department, Mr. Gabe Obaleze, who had a tour of facilities in the studio. In Oka, this is David Opokase reporting, ABS News.
Away from that, the Chairman, State Committee and Social Development Agency, Igwe Roland Odebo of Nteje, has called on communities in the state to key into the World Bank-assisted community and social development projects to develop their communities. He made a call during a one-day sensitization meeting for the 21 Local Government Transition Committee Chairman organized by the State Community and Social Development Agency at the Conference Hall of the Government House, Oka. Correspondent Ebeleze has the rest of the story.
Igwe Odebo, who is a member of the Board of Directors of the ABS, assured that they will strictly abide by the rules and regulations of the World Bank in the disbursement of funds, adding that accurate and total compliance to implementation of projects by the state will facilitate another approval from the bank.
Anambra State now participating in. I did go to many states. It's a World Bank assisted program. Now, the project na World Bank and the federal ministries came to Anambra. They've hired staff. This is domiciled the Ministry of Economic Planning and Development.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Sanwa Bono Obwaji, said, as the ministry saddled with the responsibility of facilitating development in the hinterlands, they will do everything necessary to see that the state benefits from the lofty projects.
Here is a state where somebody, the governor, on his own, initiated a thought, a process that will bring support to the people. Ministry, whose mandate is to, as much as possible, assist, facilitate rural development in our communities.
In a remark, the General Manager of the agency, Mr. Chudimoji, who said community and social development projects cannot work without the local government system, as it is all about communities, urging Transition Committee Chairman to embrace it. Mr. Mojeku stated that every community must prepare Community Development Plans, CDPS, which he described as the main basis for funding.
Social development projects, CSDP, can't function, can't work, can't be implemented without the local government system. The governor has seen the value in these projects. That's why he maintained, he insisted, in ensuring that there is agreement between the states and the World Bank so that we can have the project.
In their separate speeches, the Transition Committee Chairman for Ekwusigo Local Government Area, Chief Ikenna Ofodeme, and his Anambra West counterpart, Mr. Pius Ifade, while commending Governor Willow Biano for paying the counterpart fund and availing the state the opportunity to benefit, assured their total commitment to the project.
We have Apokwedike, the alert governor, who is sponsoring this project. So, is to assist and make sure that all the projects that are to be done in the various communities are done very, very well. We are privileged to be one of the beneficiaries. So I think I have to go down to the communities and do the preaching and the pleading.
The sensitization meeting, which served as a medium to reassure Anambra that the project will usher in a new dawn in their different communities, also rocketed overwhelming support from all the chairmen. From the conference hall of the Government House, Oka, I am Isabella reporting for ABS News.
Bishop of Ihiala Diocese, Right Reverend Professor Israel Okoye, has blamed the problem of the nation's polity on lack of internal democracy. We have details.
In a sermon at the Cathedral Church of St. Silas, Ihiala, during a service of confirmation and admission into Girls and Women's Guild, Bishop Okoye decried the inability of politicians to strengthen their various political parties, which he noted is causing defection of some members from one party to another. Right Reverend Okoye, while urging politicians to desist from playing politics with welfares of the masses, advised eligible voters to ensure that they obtain their permanent voters card to enable them participate during the 2019 general election and subsequent ones in the country. He stressed the need for the youth to be encouraged to occupying elective positions to enable them use their youthful energy to transform the country. Right Reverend Okoye charged those that received the sacrament of confirmation and those that were admitted into the Girls and Women's Guild to live their life according to the dictates of the Holy Spirit in order to win souls for Christ. He called for prayers in view of numerous challenges facing the Nigerian nation, especially insecurity, hunger, the Fulani cattle herdsmen ravaging different parts of the country.
You see, Nigeria today is the politics of internally displaced politicians. That's where we are. It's not just politicians acting, but the politics of internally displaced politicians. They have no truth, they are self-centered, they have no ideology. All they are concerned about is nothing but their own welfare. So whatever you see now, you don't even have political parties in Nigeria. You have branches of what political formations defined by personal interests. Because you cannot have a party that has no ideology, no formation, no focus. So you can move from APC to PDP, PDP to APC, from there to Labour, because there is no ideology, no qualms, nothing like ethics, nothing whatsoever. So what you have now is nothing but committee of deceivers in the political terrain.
Some of those that received the sacrament of confirmation during the service, as well as those that were admitted into the Women's Guild, Master Chukwuemeka Chimeleze and Mrs. Annabel Akubike, promised to use their new positions in touching lives.
And otherwise. So it's a very, very, very good organization. So my advice to you people is to join us. It helps in your growth, both spiritually and otherwise.
55 candidates received the sacrament of confirmation, while 24 girls were admitted into the Girls and Women's Guild and 40 women into the Women's Guild during the service.
Into our national stories, the Federal Executive Council FEC has approved 15.73 billion naira for the road project linking Umana Ndiago Abai Benebe Amanse Oka Umumbai Road Section 2 in Enugu State. The Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, disclosed this while briefing the press at the end of the FEC meeting presided over by the acting president, Yemi Osibajo, at the Council Chamber Presidential Villa, Abuja. The minister explained that the project, which was initially awarded at the cost of 10.3 billion naira in 2012, but later reviewed upwards, was to serve 6 different communities. He further said that the project suffered failed implementation due to lack of funding, adding that the upward review of the project was, among other things, to provide for erosion control. According to him, the memorandum that was approved was for the augmentation of an existing road contract. And away from that, to the foreign scene, a Venezuelan archbishop who served as Pope Francis' ambassador to Mozambique has been named as the Vatican's new substitute of the Secretariat of the State. The head of the Secretariat of State is considered the Vatican's unofficial prime minister, and the substitute can be compared to a chief of staff position. The Vatican, in a statement, said Monsignor Parra, 58, who has been a Vatican diplomat for 25 years, will start his new job on October 15th. The statement added that Monsignor Parra's previous diplomatic posts include Pakistan, Kenya, South Africa, Mexico, and UN offices in Geneva. Parra replaces Italian Giovanni Bisiu, who resigned as substitute in June when he was made a cardinal and promoted to head the Vatican's Department on Courses for Sainthood. And that's it on ABS Television News this morning. But remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. And you can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go this morning, a quick reminder of our major stories. Wife of the governor, Chief Mrs. Obiano, receives Award of Excellence from the Nigerian Girls Guides Association, commends the association's platform for reaching out to women and girls in the society. Chairman, State Committee and Social Development Agency, Igwe Odebo, calls on communities to key into projects and develop their communities. Federal Executive Council, FEC, approves the reconstruction of Umana Ndiago Abai Benebe Amansia Oka Umumba Road, Section 2 in Enugu State, says the project suffered failed implementation due to lack of funding. And on the foreign scene, Pope Francis names the Venezuelan Archbishop Parra as the Vatican's new substitute of the Secretariat of State. And that's the size of our package this morning. Many thanks for watching. I'm Iberi Ugunna.